Well, hello, Catherine Hood here. Some of you may know me as Coach Catherine, and that is amazing and incredible because I am helping you or have helped you acquire some new healthy lifestyle goals or create good habits or break old bad habits. One of my passions is preventing type 2 diabetes or helping those with type 2 diabetes because myself included, have been at the end of a grocery aisle crying. I'm telling you what, the stores are getting worse and worse. I went to the store yesterday and I was appalled at how they place foods. These giant tables of cereal were placed 5 different places in the grocery store. And it just appalls me. And I know what's behind it. There's some monetary gain for the grocery store to keep putting these foods at eye level or where it's easy to grab or on sale, buy two, get one free. And it's just all marketing, and people buy into it. I watch people in front of me and behind me, I'm with no judgment, but just watching what they buy because, marketing. Bright, shiny objects, colorful, easy, fast, cheap food. Unfortunately, it's killing us in America or wherever you're watching this. It goes on not just in our country, I realize that, but it's just terrible. It's not good for us and definitely not good for your blood sugar levels. But one of the topics that was asked to be dissected today, let's put it that way. Don't know where I came up with that word, but I just did. Dawn phenomenon. I do want to talk about it, and I'm going to say over and over and over and over again, go to your doctor. I'm not going to give you any kind of cure or find a solution, but I will give you some really good suggestions and kind of a little input of my own at the end that I want to make sure that you listen to the whole thing. I'm going to try to get this within 15 minutes, so I might talk really fast. Just kidding. But let's just cover the basics really quick. At night, the body naturally will produce less insulin. It's just what happens, assuming that you have a normal day work schedule, right? So from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., your hormones are tied to the circadian rhythm, right? The circadian rhythm is attached to the sun and the moon, and that's your sleep pattern. But it's going to start triggering the circulation of glucose to provide extra energy around that time. So 4 a.m. to 8 a.m., it's going to start upticking the glucose because that's the fuel that your body runs off, right? So it's going to go up. These hormones, and naturally in our body, there's several of them, are going to trigger the body to pump out more glucose from the liver, also from your muscles. But this combined with the lack of insulin, because again, our insulin goes down at night, is a result of higher blood sugar levels. So it's pretty common to have dawn phenomenon. So don't feel like you're unusual or what's wrong with me. Don't go down that drain. There's things that you can do, but first we need to find out if you have it. But again, 50% of type 2 diabetics have it. So what you'll need to do to really determine if you have it, because if you go to the doctor and just say, this is what I think I have because I've Googled it, well, the doctors may or may not, give you good suggestions. So it's best to do this first. So set an alarm on your phone. You're going to have it all set up on your nightstand, your meter. Hopefully you have a continuous meter and you don't even have to do this. But you're going to want to set up at your nightstand really easy to where you don't have to disturb your sleep too much. But right beside your bed, you want to set your alarm from around 2 to 3 a.m. Okay, so this should be right before it hits. We want to find out what your blood sugar levels are. And you're going to want to document, if you don't already, which you already really should be, what you ate the night before, your stress level, how hydrated you are. You want to make sure your bedroom is about 69 degrees. It's cool, it's dark, optimal, meaning no, it needs to be like a spa. Your bedroom needs to be like a spa, like no clutter, no projects, no kids, dogs, pets, lights, TVs, cameras, phones. Like get the room really optimal. But check your blood sugar between 2 and 3 for several nights in a row. I would say 2 weeks. Do this for 2 solid weeks and document what your blood sugars are, right? It's a lot of documentation, but it will determine if you are indeed having dawn phenomenon. Or is it something else? And I'll talk about that at the end of the thing. One of probably thousands of different things, but One that's near and dear to my heart as well, as long as type 2 diabetes. But be sure, again, note what you're eating before you go to bed, what time you're eating, how much, what it is, what your stress level is, because that's all hormonal. Hydration, you should be hydrated all the time, consistently. It should not change. The quality and quantity of the sleep that you're getting. Yes, I know getting up at 2 or 3 in the morning is going to jack up your sleep pattern, but hopefully you have to go to the bathroom anyways. Just take care of that, get back to bed. Deep breath, meditation, go back to sleep. All right, so if you are getting high readings, it's likely, that you do have Down phenomenon, or DP if you want to call it. So if you've done this for a full week and your blood sugars are really high and you are eating, good quality food, I do have some suggestions, but you definitely need to contact your doctor. I would anyways. I would just do this whole challenge. Call it a challenge. Like, I'm challenging you to do this for a solid 7 days and have it all journaled out and document it and contact your medical doctor, whatever that is. Some of you have specialists, some of you don't. And then just say, or a nurse, they might have an on-call nurse and say, hey, I just want to review this with somebody and tell me what to do. And I have some suggestions. Okay, so high morning blood sugars also might be a cause of insufficient insulin the night before. So if you're taking insulin, maybe you're not taking the right dose with what you're eating. Insufficient or missing medication is another sign or symptom. You got to be consistent on everything, hydration, food, movement, everything. Be consistent. The more consistent you are, the more that we're able to really identify what's going on. Maybe you're having too many carbohydrates before bed. That's a possibility. So here's some tips, okay? So avoid or cut carbohydrates in the evening. So maybe after 6 p.m., no carbohydrates, right? So some slow digesting proteins like cottage cheese. I do recommend staying away from dairy products, honestly, but cottage cheese is a really good one. Low fat Greek yogurt with protein powder is a really good one, or even berries. So low fat Greek yogurt with berries is another one, but again, that's dairy. But maybe just a handful of nuts, right before bed is a good idea because that's the fats and the proteins as well. I'm trying to think of what else. Any kind of lean protein is good. Maybe a hard-boiled egg or two. Some other ideas, or a cheese stick. Again, dairy. I know I don't really eat a lot of dairy, so that's why it's really hard for me to think of ideas for you. I eat protein, lean protein. That's kind of my go-to, and veggies really late at night. And also maybe going for a walk after dinner, and that's an early dinner, like 5 or 6 p.m. dinner. Go for a light walk. Doesn't have to be a lot, doesn't have to be far. 8, 10, 15 minutes would be perfect. More would be great, but also that depends on where you live. I want you to be safe. I don't want you walking on a road or a highway or dark or get mugged. So, make sure it's safe. Walking or doing some sort of movement or chores around the house if you need to. Walk the dog, I don't know, mow the lawn, depending on what time of the year it is, obviously. But doing some sort of physical activity after dinner would be great, and then staying away from the carbohydrates after that. So no eating during the night. Yeah, you night munchers. I know I've had a lot of clients confess that that's what they do. They get up in the middle of the night and eat. So none of that. If you do, you absolutely have to. Obviously, at some point in time, we need to get you to stop doing that. But if you can start by, instead of having, high sugar, high calorie, high carb foods, switch to the slow digestion foods, just a handful or a little small amount of nuts, healthy fats, avocado, half of an avocado, again, low fat cottage cheese, low fat Greek yogurt, protein powders, protein shakes, a lot of them, but really, really look for sugars. If you need, post in the Facebook group that I have your food, your label, your nutritional label, and your protein powder. Let me look at it. Let me give you an honest opinion. But I do like protein powders for a quick, easy, fast way to get protein and prevent spikes in your blood sugar. But try not to eat at night. No sleep eating. But lower your stress. I know that's easier said than done. But again, we're talking about your hormones here. Your hormones are playing a really big role, and cortisol is one of them that is causing the dawn phenomenon. So if you're really stressed out, you're going to have to find ways to chill that out. Change jobs, change relationships, remove people out of your life, change things. You could change things. I get it. A lot of times these things don't happen in an instant, but do change your triggers. Or just chill out. Learn to chill out. Control what you can control. Don't be a perfectionist. I'm recovering. Eat dinner earlier, like I said, 5, 6 p.m., and then just snacks after that that are just proteins. So eat protein at breakfast. I posted this recently in one of my groups. What do you have for breakfast? And I was shocked at how many people are just having straight up sugary fructose and lactose and all these toasts, which are all sugar, or foods that just, or meals that don't have any proteins in them at all. Egg whites are a great protein, by the way, too. Eat a lot of egg whites versus egg yolks. I do have a maximum of 2 egg yolks a day as my rule. They are nutritious. They are really good for you. I'm not talking bad about them, but I also am concerned about gallbladder health and cholesterol levels. So be cautious. I also noted here, get a continuous glucose meter. I mention this everywhere. Invest in one. I know that a lot of your insurance companies don't cover them because I feel like they just want us to stay in the dark. Like, come on. I know they're expensive. I get it, but invest in one. Try to get your insurance company to cover part or all of it. Try to find somewhere where you can find one that you can get for a good deal or something. But a continuous glucose meter is really imperative. If you're serious about getting control of your blood sugar levels, game changer. You will figure out and find out what's spiking your blood sugars. A lot of times it's not what you're eating. A lot of times it's your stress, your hydration, your temperature, your lifestyle in some way, fashion, or form. There's other triggers. It's not always food. I know everybody thinks it's food. It's not. So adjust your dose of your medication. But again, talk to your doctor. Don't adjust your dose without talking to your doctor. Remember, I told you I was going to mention this to your doctor. Switch to a different medication. That's something you mentioned with your doctor. Hey, I'm really concerned. Sometimes it's just a matter of bringing it to their attention. I'm interested. I'm curious. There's something else that could work better for me. But again, do that 1 week, at least 1 week of checking your blood sugar between 2 and 3 before bringing up these ideas. Change the time when you take your medication. Bring that up to your doctor, right? Maybe it's that. Maybe you're taking it at the wrong time. I know I've worked with a lot of clients that are full-blown type 2 diabetics, and they're really not consistent about taking their medication. Oops, I forgot. Oops, I forgot. Or running out. That's been a big problem this last year. So that's really important. But maybe there's an adjustment when you need to take it. Timing might be the factor. Use an insulin pump. And I know a lot of my clients in the past are like, I don't want to do that. That's so embarrassing. That just makes it seem like I've, given up. But we've got to take care of our body. Whatever it is you need to do, just do it. Ask your doctor for other medications or change dose. Bring your journal. I don't know. That's kind of a repetitive note, right? But if you find that your blood sugar is consistently high in the morning at these testing, at the 2 and the 3, or your fasted one, and you see signs that it might be other signs of Dawn phenomenon that you might know when I say these, you might go, oh, hey, maybe I need to consider this. But if you're sweating a lot in bed, and I get it, if you're over 50 and you're a woman, that might be hormones again, but that also is a factor, right? That does have a play in Dawn phenomenon. But sweating, intense hunger, lightheadedness, shaky, anxiety, dramatic mood swings, talk to your doctor, right? That's just diabetes in a nutshell, isn't it? I feel like that's like, you're just describing what diabetes is. But there is help, there is hope. The biggest thing is getting control of your blood sugar levels, getting them under 140. It's so important because everything over 140 is causing permanent damage. It just is. And that permanent damage is making it difficult down the road, and we want to prevent that. So we need to get your blood sugars leveled out, and when you get them leveled out, the weight will start falling off of you too. The other thing I wanted to mention that is an alternative that some people are talking about, the symptoms, the tingling and the nerve damage and so forth like that. I want to bring it to your attention that if you do that 1 week testing and your numbers seem to be normal, seem to be okay, there's no spikes, it doesn't appear to be Dawn phenomenon, definitely consider other things. And for me, I've had 2 back surgeries. I've had a lot of challenges in my life. You wouldn't know it by looking at me. I'm a fighter, needless to say. But I also have had 2 back surgeries. So in these back surgeries, I, for 2 years, suffered. I was in extreme amount of pain, and I was misdiagnosed over and over again. I've never actually sat down and counted how many doctors I saw, but easily 12 different doctors, and easily was completely had all kinds of diagnoses why my leg would completely go numb. I couldn't feel my toe for probably 4 years. And one would probably think that that was some sort of nerve damage or Dawn phenomenon or, you know, all the different things that come along with diabetes, but it wasn't. It was my back. I had a major herniated disc. So, be cautious when I know most of you watching this are pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic. Don't always agree with your first diagnosis. Second opinions, third opinions also are really, really good. And having people like us that have been through it, that can pave the way or give you tips. Now, we're all unique, we're all different, and I cannot stress enough, you need to talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. Journal, document, but don't ever hesitate to go get a second, third, fourth opinion on anything that you're dealing with, because going 2 to 3 to 4 years misdiagnosed is awful. Been there. All right. So I did go right at 15 minutes. I'm so proud of myself. I hope this was helpful. So if you do believe that you have Dawn phenomenon, do for a full week. Test your blood sugar 2 to 3 a.m. See if there's a trend. See if there's a spike. See what your blood sugar levels are at that hour. It actually shouldn't spike until after that if you have true Dawn phenomenon. And obviously you're going to test it again at your fasted and when you wake up in the morning and just see where your blood sugars are. That's what's going to tell you where those numbers lie. So hopefully that's helpful, but document all that, what you're eating, drinking, hydrating, sleeping, all the stress, everything you got going on, bring it to your doctor and they will help you break it down. I hope this was helpful. And thank you for the suggestion. We've got a couple other suggestions for topics and I'll spread those over the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in as always. And if you need my help, I'm here. Just message me. All right. Thanks. Bye.